So you're thinking about moving to Dallas, Texas, or you might even be thinking about moving general, but all you see on YouTube right now is those crazy thumbnails, fire, brimstone, hellfire, everything's crashing. But you're going, but I gotta move, or it's time for me to move, or there's been a transfer, or it's just time to do something different, or I've got to get out of where I'm at and I got to get to Texas, which is what a lot of people are saying right now. So if you're in the situation where you are needing to make a move, or you know that it's time to make a move, or you've been waiting for the market to cool off and now your wish has come true, but you're still a little bit concerned, well, we're going to talk about all the good things about Dallas, Texas, why I love it so much and why I live here, because if it sucked, I wouldn't live here. And if you're thinking about making the move, we're just going to kind of try to keep this a little upbeat and positive in this. Good vibes only is what we're saying in this video. All the good things about Dallas, that's what you want to know. Stick around because we're going to get into it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living in Dallas, Texas and the surrounding areas, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about the current market in Dallas. My name's Levi, my partner Travis. You know the team. We get calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you and you and you and you looking to make their move to Dallas. We love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. Happy to help you make that smooth move to Dallas. So we are getting straight into the pros. Yes, I know there's a lot of pros and cons videos out there. Negative videos, the cons, can't stand Dallas. Not that we've ever made a video like that before, but this, I just wanted to focus on the positive because I'm still here, you know, moving into much older age and still sticking around Dallas. And why is that? Well, number one, or should we go in descending order? But the problem is I don't know how many numbers I made out in the first place. So we're gonna say number one. It doesn't mean it's actually number one on my list. Stick around till the end because the last thing on my list is actually number one. But number one is the food. I mean, food and culture. If you're a foodie, then you have a ton of diversity here. Whether it is Bistro 31 in Highland Park, whether it is Beto and Son in West Dallas, if it is Paradiso's in Bishop Arts, if it is the Rooftop at HG Supply in Greenville Avenue, if it's going to be Roti Grill off of McKinney Avenue or up in Frisco, or Babe's Chicken down in Cedar Hill, you have a wide variety, so many diverse cultures of people that move here to the Dallas area. Truly, truly diverse. I mean, you cannot get a bad meal, hardly. I mean, I'm not saying that you'll never have a bad meal, but what I'm saying though is that authenticity, authentic food is really nails it down. I mean, when you think about barbecue, Pecan Lodge in Deep Ellum, one of the best barbecue spots in all of Dallas, Lockhart down in Bishop Arts. I mean, the list goes on. Terry Black's in Deep Ellum as well. The list goes on. Then you think about Tex-Mex, Beto and Son over in West Dallas. You've got E-Bar over in Old East Dallas, Mi Cocina all over Dallas, wherever you go, Rosa's Cafe. I mean, the list goes on and on. When it comes to barbecue and Tex-Mex, you cannot go wrong here. But then on top of that, you've got over 1,000 restaurants, like in Plano alone, and so diverse, from Indian to Asian to European. I mean, everywhere. You got the whole map covered in Dallas. It is a foodie scene, and I tell you what, lots of little mom and pops popping up everywhere. Of course, you do have your chains as well, you know, shout out to Chipotle. We're Chipotle fans here too when you're on the go, but still, anywhere you want to grab brunch, lunch, a nice dinner, you have tons of options going on here in the Dallas area. No shortage. You won't be able to get to them all, but you'll end up going to the same ones over and over again because they're just absolutely amazing. All right, number two on the list, although it's not exciting at all whatsoever, but that would be the highway system. Okay, here's the thing. I know, highway, you're talking about highways? Yes, we're talking about highways because here's the opportunity here in Dallas. There's so much room to grow, which is actually a correlation to housing. I think this is what really helps keep housing in check here in the Dallas area, although we have seen our biggest increases in quite some time, or quite some time ever, really, in the last 2 years. But the thing is that there's so much green space all around Dallas that we have the room to grow out and out and out and out and keep growing all the way to Oklahoma if you want, even Louisiana. I mean, the thing is that we're not landlocked, we're not waterlocked. Yes, there's some lakes scattered throughout here and there, but not landlocked. That's a big deal. You get down to Austin, which Austin is extremely expensive. It's very hilly down there, so you can't build everywhere. Rivers as well, so it does have a little bit of water waterlogged, right? It'd be waterlogged a little bit by the rivers. So all these things you want to keep in mind, because when land is scarce, that's when prices are going to go up. And the fact that you can keep growing in Dallas, you know, people are willing to move an extra 5 minutes outside of town because there's a new construction community going out there. So not only can they get a new home, but they can just move a little bit further, and that's going to bring down the price a little bit more because it's not going to be as populated. Now everything's going to grow out. So if you buy out in the outskirts of Dallas, or North Dallas, or Northeast Dallas, or Southeast Dallas, where there's a lot of expansion going, especially along Forney and Princeton and Anna and Melissa and all these areas, then your home is going to have appreciation likely built into it for the next 5, 10, 15, I mean, really over time, all real estate appreciates. But the thing is that in these areas where they're not as, you know, not as congested at this moment, people are willing to get a lower price, move a little bit further on town, because Frisco, in my opinion, will be the new hub of Dallas. If you've heard of the DFW, I believe we will become the DFFW, which will be Dallas, Frisco, Fort Worth. Frisco is going to become the new hub. It's going to become one of the central locations of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so you won't be able to avoid it. So Prosper, Salina, Melissa, Anna, all these cities that seem far from Dallas are very close to Frisco, within 10-15 minutes. And if you're within 10 to 15 minutes of Frisco, then that's going to give you a great opportunity to get a return on your investment. There's all the growth happening out there, so that appreciation is going to get built in. And so I don't expect, even if there was some crazy market crash, those home prices are not likely to decline a significant amount. Could they lose a little bit of value? Possibly so, but if you plan to live there for the next 3 to 5 years anyways, which is anyone's ideal timeline to live in a home at least, you should weather that storm no problem at all. And so from that standpoint, and I got completely off track, right? Going back to the highway system, the boring old highway system, here's the deal. The highway system, they can keep expanding. So that was my point too, is that we keep expanding the loops and the loops and the loops. So it went from Loop 12 right around Dallas to 635 to now President George W. Bush. That's the most extensive, or the furthest out loop. And they're building more and more of these highways because they're not landlocked or waterlocked. Then they can just keep growing the highways out, and that's allowing for less congestion, less traffic. Although some people that live here would say that traffic is terrible, but in my opinion, it's not compared to a lot of other places, especially New York and LA, right? So because the highway system can continually expand out, then you're gonna have that room to grow. And Texas does take care of their roads. I think some of the best roads that I've ever been to. All right, so number 3 on our list is going to be the recreation. I know people tell me all the time, you have no mountains and no beach, so there's nothing fun to do there. Well, that's far from the truth. There's lots of fun things to do here in the Dallas area. We have over 400 parks. We have over 60 miles of trails if you want to hike and bike and jog and vlog like I do. That's my extracurricular activity, right? Vlogging out in the neighborhoods. You've probably seen a couple of those videos. And then you have the largest arts district downtown as well. On top of that, you've got 5 lakes just within 10 to 15 minutes of Dallas. So if you're a water sports type of person, you like to boat, you like to ski, you like to slalom, you like to wakeboard, you like to wake surf. Wake surfing is all the rage right now. People absolutely love that. So that's the cool thing. And that's what we love our lake life. By the way, lake life video on Dallas that we put, that's what we like to do in the summers here. And that's how we make it through there. So tons of recreation. You get down to South Dallas, down to Cedar Hill State Park, then you have a lot of elevation. All the trails around the lakes are absolutely amazing whenever it comes to hiking and biking, mountain biking, running, trail running if you want to do that. And my personal favorite, White Rock Lake, which I'm close to, is I can bike a couple of blocks away to the Santa Fe Trail. I can jump on the Santa Fe Trail and have a nice paved bike ride all the way to White Rock Lake. And whenever I get to White Rock Lake, there's a paved trail all the way around White Rock Lake, which is over 9 miles, the whole perimeter. And so for me to bike there to get all the way back to my house is about a 19-mile trip. Great for a little Saturday morning ride. And then you've got off-roading you can do around White Rock Lake as well. So it's always active around in that area, always something to do. So the recreation here, especially outdoors, always somewhere to go. And if you drive just a little bit further outside of town, guess what you can do? You can hunt, you can shoot guns, you can have a lot of fun, dirt bike, you can 4-wheel, you can do all of that as long as you got a friend, right? That's all you need is a friend with a boat or a property out in the country, and you've got it made here in the Dallas area. Number 4, are we on number 4? I think we're on number 4. So number 4 on the list would be some of the absolute best neighborhoods in Dallas I love because of the culture and the diversity once again. So if you look at Central Dallas, I mean, when I think about Central Dallas, I think about where I live in Old East Dallas, in the M Streets, in Vickery Place, in White Rock Lake area. You've got Casa Linda, you've got Lake Highlands, you've got Mockingbird, all of this whole area, Old East Dallas, Lakewood, you know, Lower Greenville, M Streets, all of that centrally located. There's so much to do, so much history. I live in a historic neighborhood. My home is almost 100 years old now. It's a nice little craftsman. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Plenty of things to do. I'm within 5 minutes to Whole Foods, Chipotle, all the important stuff. And that's what you get a lot in that Old East Dallas is just the history and the culture. Lots of local mom and pop shops for restaurants and boutique shops, whatever you need, restaurants, clothing, all of that, especially Lower Greenville Avenue, one of my favorite spots if you want to take some friends out on a Friday or Saturday night. It's close to home, lots to do. So Central Dallas, that area, one of the best neighborhoods. Then you move over to Park Cities. You go across the highway of 75 and you run into Highland Park and University Park, two of the most affluent neighborhoods in the whole state of Texas, sometimes in the country, ranked in the top 10. Highland Park, #1 public school district. I mean, their football program, it's a lot. You know, Highland Park and University Park are considered their own municipalities inside of Dallas. Very, very high value in homes, median home price around 1.5 million. You won't get into Highland Park for less than 1.5, and that's probably a tear down or even a lot, and you probably won't even find something that cheap. Should I say cheap? At this moment now. So you're probably more in the 2.5 range at a minimum, but you can bop on over to University Park and find a little bit more of a lower price range there, probably around $1 million at your break even, and that's probably going to be a complete remodel, rehab, or a tear down type of job as well. But if you want to be in one of the absolute best school districts with your own police department, your own, you know, everything that you need right in that area, it's a little bubble right inside of Dallas, but the location, you cannot beat it. It's right in the middle of everything, but you're going to pay a hefty price. Then you move over down to Oak Cliff, right? A little bit of South Dallas, Southwest. You've got the Bishop Arts District, which is one of my absolute favorite areas in all of Dallas. I love to go down there. You definitely have a great mix of culture and diversity and food and arts and crafts and bands, live bands. I mean, it's just everything down there. That's where Lockhart Barbecue is, a great place to hang out and get some amazing barbecue. On Sundays, one of the bars, they always have a New Orleans jazz band just playing. They leave the doors open so that music is just spilling out on the street. It's a ton of fun, and I tell you what, it's just a cool place. Some of the best coffee shops. And Paradiso, man, come on now. You go over to Paradiso, that's absolutely amazing. One of the best patio restaurants, indoor, outdoor, doesn't matter where you sit, you've got a great spot there. Then you move over to West Dallas. I mean, West Dallas is your up and coming neighborhood. I mean, there's a lot of development going on, but that's where we mentioned like Beto and Son for the Tex-Mex, that whole corridor right there. As soon as you cross over the bridge, lots of renovation, lots of new construction, and they are getting into some of those older neighborhoods, tearing down those homes, building up some new construction, new apartments and condos, but the restaurants and bars on that side are really starting to pick up. And to me, one of the absolute best drives back into Dallas. That skyline is absolutely amazing when you cross over the bridge to get back into Dallas, and it's just right there, conveniently located. All right, so number 5, I believe we're on the 5. Now we're gonna start moving into some really solid reasons about moving to Dallas. No state income tax here in Texas. So, okay, that applies to all of Texas, but that really makes Dallas very well because we're about to move into the economic value of moving here. So not only do you have all of these great neighborhoods, food, recreation, everything you need, but when you actually look at moving in here, no state income tax, but on top of that, Dallas is more affordable, which means less expensive than New York, than LA, than Boston, than Chicago, and even Austin. That's right. So for those of you considering, should it be Dallas? Should it be Austin? Dallas all the way because it's less expensive. And if you want things that are not so crazy, they get a little crazy down there in Austin sometimes. But I've got a couple of good friends down there. But I love Austin, but I live in Dallas, and that should tell you all you need to know. Now, as we move more into the economy of Dallas, Wallet Hub just came out with a study where they reviewed quite a bit of different measures to determine the best housing markets and places to buy a home in the United States right now. They surveyed over 300 cities. Think about this. And the top 3 are in North Dallas. Number 1 is going to be Frisco. Number 2 is going to be Allen. By the way, we've got full vlog tour on Frisco. You should check that out. We've got a full vlog tour on Allen. You should check that out. And number 3 was McKinney. We've got a full vlog tour on McKinney as well. You should definitely check that out. And on top of that, we're rounding out number 8 was Denton, which we've got a full vlog tour on that. And number 10 was Richardson, which by the way, got a full vlog tour on Richardson as well. So no matter what area you're thinking about moving to, we have got a vlog tour on it, most likely, I'm pretty sure. And if we haven't covered an area you want to see, make sure you let us know in the comments below. That would be awesome. But the thing is 5 out of the top 10 places in the US out of 300 cities are right here in Dallas. In addition to that, number 11 was Fort Worth, number 19 was Plano, and then even Grand Prairie was in there as well. So that was 9 total cities out of the top 30 out of the top 300. So almost a third of the top cities to live and buy a house in right now, according to Wallet Hub, is here in the Dallas area. That's absolutely amazing. That tells you, and they took some very extensive measures to look at that. They looked at affordability and economic environment. They looked at home value forecasts. They looked at share of underwater mortgages and the foreclosure rate. So they're not just looking at the good, they're looking at the bad. And whenever you have a lot of homes that are not underwater and very low foreclosure rates, that creates a strong environment for a very solid housing market. And that's what you want if you're going to be moving, is you want a solid housing market, especially whenever things seem to be a little bit uncertain at these times. Well, you want some surety. And I tell you what, Dallas is probably one of the most stable markets out there and not affected by a lot, especially outside economic issues as far as what's going on. I mean, Dallas really does kind of keep themselves to themselves, which is really nice. And now that brings us to the number 1 reason why you should consider moving to Dallas, and that's the economy. The job economy, the job market. I mean, it is crazy here. There's so many corporations moving here, and corporations that are headquartered here now. Over 25 just moved to the Plano area during 2020, and more have moved since then. But think about this. You have corporations like AT&T with over 240,000 employees, American Airlines over 25,000 employees, Capital One over 48,000 employees. And if you're in the financial services market, which by the way, being in financial services, and a little iffy right now, but still pretty solid career choice. You've got not only Capital One, you've got Goldman Sachs that's moving over 5,000 positions here. You've got Fidelity, you've got Charles Schwab, you've got Southwest, you've got Exxon Mobil, you've got Fossil, you've got Hewlett Packard, you've got Baylor Healthcare. By the way, Baylor Healthcare, if you're in the healthcare industry as well, employs over 5,000 doctors here in the Dallas area, and that's seen as one of the most doctor-friendly, is that a word? Doctor-friendly, doctor-extensive, and doctor... Anyways, you know what I mean. They have a lot of doctors here at Baylor Healthcare. So that's just something that you got to keep in mind. If you're in the healthcare industry, on top of that, telecom, tech, you know, all of these positions here in the Dallas area. Of course, we see the tech industry making the move from California quite a bit. And we help a ton of people move from California, Illinois, New York, Washington State. They keep coming in because they are leaving those areas. They're still working from home or working remotely, and they're just wanting to be in a better economy, a better environment, tax-friendly, freedom-friendly, business-friendly. I mean, Forbes actually just came out with a recent article stating that Dallas is in the top 10 for business-friendly cities. So think about that. We love our small business owners here. I mean, even whenever everything was closing down, we were there for maybe 30, 60 days and had to open back up. It was like, let's get back to work. Let people make their own choices, their own decisions. We are a freedom-friendly state. That's what I love about it here. And that's very important, especially for you small business owners. And that's why so many corporations, think about it. Think about a corporation that has to uproot 5, 10, 15, 20,000 employees. Why are they doing that here? Because it's a better economic environment. And there's room to grow. There's so much opportunity here, and the proximity, the location. Think about it. If you're a frequent traveler as well, you've got the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport and Dallas Love Field. And guess what? You're in the central time zone. So that means getting to LA, 2.5, 3 hours, getting to New York, 2.5, 3 hours, getting to Florida, 2.5, 3 hours, and getting to Colorado, an hour, getting to Chicago, a couple of hours, getting to Seattle, 2.5, 3 hours. I mean, if you're a frequent traveler, nothing better than being centrally located in Dallas to hop on a flight. And we travel quite a bit, you know, traveling to real estate and business and video conferences, always learning, always meeting new people, developing those relationships. And I can't tell you, especially when time change, you talk about jet lag, we never really experience it because being in Central as well, you only have to adjust usually 1 to 2 hours, which is a big difference trying to go from West Coast to East Coast. And you're talking about a 6-hour flight and 3 to 4 hour time difference, depending on where you're at. I mean, that's a big deal. So overall, if you're not only a business friendly environment, but a business travel friendly environment. And if you really want to talk about some money in this environment, I mean, Indeed actually came out and said that Dallas is the #3 job market in the country, the fastest growing city in the country, and the 3rd highest salary at an average of $68,000 here in the Dallas area. That's pretty big, right? Average salary, $68,000. That's #3 in the country. And if you go to Collin County, where Frisco and Plano and Allen and McKinney and all of that area, the average salary up there is $101,000. Think about that. Now, doesn't mean those people are working directly in that area. They could be working remotely or from home or have small businesses or things like that. But it just says, you know, when you get in that environment, when you get around people that are making deals, you know, networking, building businesses, and there's hustle and there's bustle and there's growth and there's opportunity, it's just a phenomenal environment to be in and to be a part of. That's why I love Dallas so much. I tell you what, there's other parts of the country I absolutely love. You know, California, I do love California. You know, from a mountains and beach and natural environment type of thing. But you know what? It's just what we agree on. We can't seem to agree on other things, right? And so I want to be aligned and be in an area that works with me and my values and my beliefs as far as business and freedom and environment and growth and opportunity. And I don't want to be, you know, held down by anybody. Just, you know, let me obey the law and do my job, build a business, help people, care for my family. That's what matters most to us here. And that's what we have still in the Dallas area. And that's creating an ideal environment for companies, corporations, people, families, everybody. That's why there's so many people making the move here, is because of, it's just ideal. It's a great way to go. So do you walk outside and see beautiful, majestic mountains? No, not really. Do you walk outside and hear the ocean crashing? No, not really. But, you know, hey, a little sacrifice for really a lot more. And the thing is I love to travel to all of those places. I love to visit, just not gonna live there, right? So overall, there's so many good things that are happening in Dallas, and I could probably go on for days and days and days, but I just wanted to kind of give you the high level overview of what's happening here. By the way, comment below and let me know what your favorite things are about Dallas. Let's keep this one positive, right? Remember, good vibes only, but let me know what you love about Dallas if you live here now, and if you used to live here, let me know what you love about Dallas on top of that. So we hope you found this helpful, and again, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, all in the description below, or even schedule a Zoom call, our absolute favorite. And until next time, well, we hope to show you around town.